Hello again to another episode of our map spotlight. And in this episode we are going to be spotlighting the security post Kareah. It is actually in orbit around one of Crusader's moons, Selin. Okay, now this security post is a space station that is dedicated in maintaining security in the Crusader system. The Crusader planet is actually the gas giant in the Stanton system. And it has a common theme. It's a spire station. So what I mean by that is it has a central shaft, and then with rings attached to that shaft, and then various things jutting out. Now, as you can see here, what we are doing is we have gone to the very bottom of this station, and we are looking at what look to be like cell phone towers. This could be radio signal towers, radar, or it could be any kind of communications network. Very cool, and it's multi-directional, so it's pointing in all directions. That's good because they would have to communicate with their security posts that are out at the different comm arrays. And they would use the comm arrays to communicate warnings and alerts and anything like that to other security forces in the system. And there is the Crusader gas giant in the distance. Yes, this is a non-secured area of space. You will hear and see combat going on quite a bit. Let's try to just ignore that. Okay, so this first half of this video is going to be just taking a look at the outside of the security post because it is well done. I just have to say it's graphically very pleasing to me. Yes, there are some flaws, there are some minor things that need to be worked on, but I'm surprised that it's got as much detail as it does, based on the fact that you don't really get to walk around on it. It does have another one of those fuel slash water slash whatever kind of tanks, don't know what's in there, the same as what you saw on the Kovalix shipping hub. There is a satellite dishes, and we're going to look at those right now. Or not satellite dishes, I should say solar panels. There we go. We got some solar panels here, but what's weird about it is it doesn't face the sun. The security post needs to turn about 180 degrees so that it could face the sun. And maybe it does from time to time as it orbits the moon. Maybe it does face the sun, but I would think that it would maintain a facing to the sun so that it will always have power. But then again, there might be some kind of fusion power plant located inside the station, so the solar panels might just be a kind of like an emergency power kind of thing, possibly. You'll see scaffoldings, struts, and support beams all over, and then you've got this giant round. This is one of two that I know of. One of two giant round, I guess it would be radar dishes, and at that size you should be able to see quite far. Now the lower ring, that's this lower ring right here, is broken up into 4 pieces, like 4 quarters. Why? I don't know. It doesn't spin. It's not moving. So do these contain housing units or offices, or what do they house? We don't know. Okay, now you see these square yellow boxes. I don't know if that's a docking port or something like that, because you'll see them from time to time in different various locations throughout this station. I don't know what those are. That would be something that I'd like to know. And as you can see right there, this set right below the landing pads, you see what appear to be lights shining from within a station. Now you just don't, once you get inside the station, you can't actually go below the landing pads. There might be an elevator inside at one point, but we don't have access to that. When there is a red light, or there's a green light on it, when you click it, it turns red, so you can't get it into the elevator. Okay, so we're about at the level of where the landing pads are at, but we're going to continue to go work our way up the station. Okay, so we've seen the lower ring, which is in quarters. Now you've got the next ring, which my squadron calls it the inner ring, because you got the inner and the outer ring, and the outer ring is the larger ring here, and you see the red and blue lights. Now you'll see that at various points there will be openings, like there's a red light, there's a blue light, and if you look back to the left you see another blue light. There's lights various places. What do they represent? Don't know. The logo here is CA or CCA 8. So this might be the 8th security post in this system. Looks like it's an unfinished station. There might be some open areas. Plus, those might be windows that people in the outer ring might be looking outwards. You'll see that there is kind of like a TP style support from the central post down through the outer ring's support structure, holding the inner ring. It's kind of weird. You would think that the two rings would be kind of attached, but they're not, and or they would be attached in a different way. I don't know why. There's these 45-degree angle struts that go down and hold that inner ring. Then you got two struts that go all the way through, right here and on the other side, that hold the outer ring. I'm going to get a little closer to the central strut, but on the outer ring struts, on one of them, there is a communication array very similar to what we saw at the very bottom of the security post. Also, in the outer ring, on the inside of the outer ring, you will see these little walkways that stick out. They're all over, and those are, and there's the comm array that I was mentioning. Those little walkways, they look like they're repurposed assets from the Kareah, from the Kovalex shipping hub, and they look like they've got handrails, and they look like they you could walk around on them. We'll look at those here in a minute. Now, what is this central thing here? It looks like it might be a power supply or generator, and then as we go up, this thing is, remember, it is not symmetrical. There are more solar panels on this side. There is also a very large communication disc right there in the upper portion of the screen. And we are going to continue to work our way up to the top of the security post. What is this big, what do you call it, cylindrical shape that protrudes from the main shaft? Don't know. A lot of it you don't have access to. And there looks like scaffolding along. It looks like this post was going to be expanded, or has an opportunity to be expanded because of the additional framework that protrudes this far out. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to EVA. I'm going to EVA, and we're going to get a closer look as I work back down the security post to the landing pads, and then we'll go inside. Now, unfortunately, when you get close to these struts here, you will see that they are wafer thin. They are super thin. They have no meat to them. So from looking at like paper thin. So when you're looking at them from outside, yeah, they look great. But when you're looking at them closely like this, they don't have any texture. I understand this game is in alpha. This station is not complete. They have not completely gone over it. This might be something for a future project that they are planning on expanding. Also, when the universe goes live, the doors that are locked now will probably be allowed to be opened. There will be a lot more rooms and chambers. The elevator will be accessible. But right now, this is just an opportunity for you and I as players to go through and have an FPS level. And that's what the security post Kareah is designed for. It is a location where players can get together and they can practice and test out the first-person combat system to allow CIG to learn, you know, if the guns are effective, or, you know, the animations of the characters are right and stuff like that. Okay, so there is another one of those solar panels. It's actually a bunch of solar panels stair-stepping all the way down. And then I thought I'd go over here to the I think this is like a satellite dish, maybe a Doppler type satellite, or maybe it's a communications array. I don't know, but I wanted to come get a good look at it. So let's take a look at it. And when I got really close, I can tell you it does have geometry. It will stop you from moving, so you don't just travel right through it. And you can see the shadow from the sun, or at least you could. There I am. Get too close, and let's try to get a little bit closer, and it doesn't let me get too close. It bumps me into it, and it doesn't let me in. Boink. Notice that? Okay. I thought that was enough. It's pretty much just basic, you know, info. There's nothing super special here. So let's just leave this comm array, and look at the crater on the moon. That moon is Selen. The three moons of Crusader is Yella, Selen, and Daymar. Daymar is the moon of where Kovalik Shipping Hub is. Those are all three children of, I don't know what the mythological story behind that is, but those are all three names of children. From a novel, I would believe, or some story. Okay, so I'm boosting in my EVA, so we can get going a little bit faster. I wanted to get closer to the comm array. Take a look at it. I noticed they have like little donuts around these hex lights. I assume those are satellite-style dishes, or who knows what that is. And also, in the future, remember, there's probably different forms of communication, Meson communicators, or who knows what. And so, what are these? These look like they look very similar to what a cell tower would look like. So that's why I'm thinking it's like a communications array, just a very giant one. You know, to be able to communicate all the way across the system. Very beautiful looking. So I go to the bottom of it thinking that that was a hatch. I said, man, is that a hatch down there? Maybe we can check it out or whatever. It's not. It's not a hatch. It's just an indentation in the support system. But I was like, there's some lights right there. But yeah, there is. They've done a really, really good job on these maps. Better than, well, it's still an alpha, so they've exceeded my expectations. Let me just say that they're doing better than what I would have expected from a pre-alpha kind of situation. Okay, so now we're leaving the inner ring, and I decided to go check out the outer ring. I wanted to look at one of these protruding walkways. These walkways, they have a couple of these exact things on Port Olisar. They have them on Kovalik Shipping Hub. And what else on the ICC probe? These, and they look like they're just straight out of that. Now, just kind of evaluating, like, why would they have these here? Well, if I brought a Starfarer to this base, I wouldn't be able to land it, because it wouldn't fit, for one thing, into the landing areas. But it does have a lower docking ring, and my lower docking ring, I might be able to dock onto this, and then I would be able to enter through the tube into the outer ring. And then that way I would have access to Port Kareah through maybe a tunnel underneath this walkway. Now this walkway looks like it is handrails. That might not be handrails, it might just be like a support structure or something, but because how many handrails do you really need out there in EVA land, you know? And then I look down at these things. There are about 6 of these also. Various circular attachments. Yes, there is combat going on down there on one of the landing pads. Somebody just blew up somebody's ship. That's what you will expect to see at Port Kareah. It's a very dangerous area. Journey or travel here at your own risk because there's no security present and people are here testing out their guns. Okay, so when you get over to this is part of the inner ring. There's a number of these, and you notice they got the little square things underneath them. Don't know what these are for. It looks like it might be an entrance. It might be a rocket engine. Maybe to move the station around. Maybe it is a power supply, a generator. Who knows what it is? So I haven't figured this out yet, and I don't think it's explained anywhere. If it is, please post that in the comments. I'd love to learn what this is. Okay, we're gonna level out a little bit, and now on one of the outer ring crossbars, those are the yellow ones, the ones going left and right there. On the top, on both sides, you will see these little office complexes. I call it office complexes, but could be a control room, could be anything, could be a suite, could just be like a customs office. I don't know what these things are. Not this big octagon, but the rooms to the left and right. Okay, talking about this octagon as we're getting close to it, it is a multi-layer octagon. You see there's a back layer and a front layer, but there's an invisible wall there. You can't get through. That is just maybe there's a force field, or probably they just don't want players getting behind there for whatever reason. Maybe it's not finished or something. I don't know. But it is three-dimensional. Won't fit. I'm thrusting, not allowing me in. Okay, so I do go check out one of these office buildings, I think. Yeah, you can hear me breathing. Okay, there's the office building right there. It's one of the ones. That's on a main, I call that a main strut holding the outer ring. Another ship blew up. When you get up here, you'll see it's like a 2-story building that has a walkway all the way around it. So the second story has windows, so it could be like a control situation where if you were inside, you could see out. I turned on the light because I'm kind of looking for a door. Like, is there a way to get in there? And if not, there should be. One of these corners should have a door, or one of the ends should have a door. That kind of looks like a hatch right there, but I don't know if it is. And the reason why is if you're going to have people in there, there's got to be a hatch or something to get in and out. Now, there's got to be a way, maybe you climb down into the strut, and that strut has a walkway that goes from the outer ring to the inner ring. And I do believe that would be the case, because the outer ring is where those bigger ships would dock with those docking rings that I was talking about. And if you were to dock, you would walk through the inside of the outer ring, and then you would walk down this strut past this office or building or checkpoint into the security post. But we don't know what the inside or interior of that portion of it looks like. Okay. So now I'm looking down on the 8 landing pads. They go around from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then finishes off with 8 over on the right. Um, Only 1 and 5 are, well, you can land any ship at any point, at any position, but 1 and 5 are the largest ones, and they're the lowest ones. And the way it's laid out, the landing pads are symmetrical, the way they're set up, but the rest of the station isn't. And there's a lot of good spots to, a lot of cover, a lot of walls and little walkways and nooks and crannies that you could get into, and you could really wreck somebody's day in most of these. Because you're in zero gravity, you can pretty much float around anywhere you want in this station. Here's a good little hiding spot right here, you know. All right. There are a bunch of them, and this video is not long enough for me to show you or talk about every single one. Okay, now I do go inside and I do engage in some first-person combat, but before we do that, I want to just kind of show you a little bit about the landing pads. They do have a gravity to them. When you get a little bit lower, it'll pull you down, and the gravity, like right there, boom, now I'm prone and I'm having to stand up. Okay, and then I look down at that sign, warning, radiation levels may exceed safe levels. Protective equipment to be utilized at all times. Look at that, that's just cool as hell. I mean, who is ever going to see that sign? Apparently Mr. Everything's going to see that sign. And I tried to jump over this, but it wouldn't let me jump over it, even though there's zero gravity out here. But it's not zero gravity, remember? These landing pads are actually generating gravity. Okay, I'm getting ready to jump down, and we're going to go just kind of look at the landing pads. Now there is no gravity there because I'm too high. But once I start lowering myself, the gravity will take over and it'll pull me down. Just like that. Now, if you look around, there are these walkway tubes. They're exposed to vacuum. You'll see a lot of these on all the posts. You'll see that port. I think it's a human feature. That's like something the humans do. Yeah. There's landing pad 6 and strut A, implying that there is more than one strut, but there is only one strut. It's strut A. And mind head. Yeah, I saw that. And then I'm just going to look around and just take your time and enjoy the scenes, because it's all graphics right now. We're just taking a look at the graphics. There's a window to the inside. There's lights shining onto the landing pad. There's fuel or oxygen or water. I don't know what's in those tubes. You can't get inside, right? So you got to go up and around. This is spot 4. And you'll notice that there's a wall, not there, right there, that you can't cross. And there's one on the exact other side. So I go out here to see what this 4 looks like. I thought that was a 7, but in fact, it's a 4. It's 04. And the numbers are actually laid out in a way where if you're approaching the pad from the outside, you'll see the numbers. If you're looking at the numbers from the inside, they're reversed. So my squadron and I, we had a little confusion on pad 1 because it's 01, but one of my squadron mates thought it was 10, and so he kept calling out pad 10, and I was like running around the space looking for pad 10, and I couldn't find it. Oh my gosh, that was good times. Okay, so there's pad 5. Doors. Very similar to all the other doors you've ever seen. Same thing with the cycling of the airlock. Exactly the same, right? Now inside you have 3 decks that I am aware of, and look at all the details. There is a considerable amount of detail inside here. I'm really digging it. You have under the stairs, you have little armories that you can grab a laser rifle or a P4 assault rifle, and then on both sides over the main strut, remember, or maybe it's under the main strut, you see these windows. There's a guy. I was like, okay, wait, hold on. Earlier, there were some guys chasing me down trying to kill me, so I just said, screw it, I'm going to unload on these guys. Just enjoy the FPS action that we're going to see right now. This central room right here does have a computer to my right that allows you to click on it and reduce your criminal level. I heard a guy coming. He's got one of those electric shotguns. Or not anymore. I'm down to 37 rounds. My arm and legs are wounded, so I go to these ammo boxes to put my ammo back up. There used to be energy charging stations on the wall. I think they've done away with that concept and gone with the ammo boxes. These are health boxes. When you open them up, you get health pins. And then by double tapping H, it should heal you. But for some reason, it wasn't working. Earlier, I was healed because I had fought these guys earlier and got hurt and used the pen to heal myself. And I was thinking maybe there's only one use and I can't do it again. Or, yeah. So I was basically screwed. I had a hurt arm and a hurt leg. All right, let me shut up. We're on the ship deck, which is deck 1. Remember, there's deck 2 and there's deck 3. I decided to continue. Okay, that's the elevator right there to the right with the blue button on the right. It will not let you open it. It's locked. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay, so let's go just check out the rest of the station and wait for more people to show up. A lot of places to snipe from, hide when you're doing the FPS and you got to run. There's a lot of places to run, jump, crouch behind. The thing that's beeping behind me is the criminal database that when you activate it, if you're a criminal, you can actually erase your criminal record. That's pretty cheesy, isn't it? Okay. What else? Okay, I see a ship coming in and it's landing. Looks like a Vanguard coming in. Wonder how many people are on that. Not worried about it. I figured I was just going to go ahead and walk around and look at the station. Take this opportunity to look around the station. And again, remember this is pre-alpha. There will be a little bit of lag spikes. You're going to see a little bit of jumping around. Optimization is not finished. Okay, level 2. There's a little hidey hole right here. Turn on the radio. Turn on the light so you can see what was in there. If you were to go hide inside, it would be very hard for them to see you. You can look out those windows there to the left and look over that control panel. Pretty cool. Wait. Yes, I'm looking to see if he's got a friend. I go in there and say, well, let me get these health boxes or pens. Okay, that's level 2. So I figured, okay, let's try level 3. Level 3, there's doors that lead out to landing pads. Again, every level's got them. And then there's like a little section up here. It's like an access hallway. It doesn't really have, it's just a secondary hallway. I hear people cycling the airlock behind me, so I come back and set up an ambush. And thanks for coming out and checking out this video. This was the security post Kareah, and I'll see you in the verse.